Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a bit, I am headed out the door to check out the new sci-fi thriller, Xeno. Xeno is written and directed by Matthew Lauren Oates, and it's starring Lulu Wilson, Paul Schneider, and Ren Schmidt. It tells the story of a teenage girl who finds an alien one day and they become friends, and the US government, of course, is gonna come hunt them down and all. And it sounds fairly familiar, okay? Yes, it sounds like a pretty typical little family adventure film, but here's some things that made me really interested in this movie. Number one, the look of the alien. Now, this is not E.T., guys. This alien looks downright scary. It is a pretty horrific looking creature that I've seen in this trailer. And get this. It is made by Jim Henson Creature Studios, so it's going to be mostly practical effects in this movie. Now, from what I saw in the trailer, there's definitely a little bit of CGI that's going to be used for some scenes, but also some close-ups of this monster. It is a puppet. It is going to be some practical effects going on, so I am pretty stoked to see that. Now, this weekend, there are tons of movies coming out, and I can only really get to the theaters to see one theatrical movie this weekend, and I chose this one because it doesn't seem like anybody's talking about this movie. I found this film just completely buried in the AMC app. I was just scrolling, seeing things. I saw him on there, and I'm like, well, that looks interesting. But if I'm only going to see one movie this weekend in theaters, I'm definitely going to go for one that looks a little bit different than everyone else is going to go see for the heck of it. And I found this film. No one seems to be talking about it. There's not really any buzz going on. I've never seen a trailer for this. Well, I did see a trailer eventually, but I mean, I don't know anything about this movie leading up to literally moments ago when I looked it up on my AMC app. So in all honesty, I am really excited to go check this movie out. I love finding these little, cult style films out in the wild in theaters and all, and be able to talk to you guys about them. So I'm really hoping that this one is a win for Team Cult Cinema. So you know what? It is enough of me sitting here jibber jabbering on. It is time for me to say goodbye to my faithful feline friend Haku, because I need to get out the door to see Xeno. Welcome back, just getting home from Xeno. And guys, I gotta tell you, this movie was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. Now, before I get this party started, I want to just let everyone know, no, you are not going crazy. Yes, there is something new in my background. Can you find it? Can you find which one of these things are not like the other? Which one of these kids is doing their own thing? Okay, well, I'll give you a hint, all right? It's right over here. I'm gonna just try to do this with my looking at my screen. There we go, right up there. Boop! See the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern? That is a painting that my wife, Charming Amy, made while I was out at the movie, and she decided to surprise me and put it in my background. When I was doing my intro, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna put some of my Halloween decorations in the back, start getting ready for old Hallows Eve coming up next month, and so I put my witch out and some other items, see if you can figure them out. But while I was gone, Charming Amy decided to paint a cute little jack-o'-lantern painting for me and stuck it in the back. So just a big shout out to my wife. Isn't she awesome? So let's get this party started, shall we? We're gonna get things started with negatives, then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the pacing in this film. Now, this movie comes in at about an hour and 45 minutes, somewhere around there. And to be perfectly honest, a good 15 minutes of this movie really could have been shaved off to get it to that nice little 1:30 runtime, that sweet spot that we all absolutely love. There was a bit of drama that's tossed into this film. Now, I completely understand that they throw in this family drama in order to give a little bit more characterization to our main character. My only problem with it is that there's enough going on in this film that they really didn't need to throw in the family drama to kind of make things look terrible at home and so on and so forth. Another little character journey that our hero is going through. There is plenty of stuff going on here, period. And we've already got a well-established villain when we have our US government and our agents who are searching for this alien. So they didn't really need the good old evil stepdad thrown into the mix, to be perfectly honest. I felt like the scenes that were really focusing on that dragged the movie down a little bit, and it slowed things down, and so it does kind of get a bit draggy in some parts while they're dealing with the family drama and all, and it doesn't necessarily belong. It doesn't really need to be there. It almost feels like the character was just there so they could expand a little bit more on her background and her characterization and all, and to be perfectly honest, there was enough going on for our main character that she really did not need this family drama at home, and it just seemed like it was kind of shoved in there to kind of give a little bit more drama to the movie. Other than that, I would have to say that I really enjoyed this film. There's some really great moments in this movie, and but that pacing issue, the parts where it kind of drags a little bit, that is kind of noticeable in my opinion, and it doesn't ruin the movie by any means, but it is something that just kind of made me go, all right, let's pick up the pace, let's get going, we can move beyond this, we really don't need this. And to be perfectly honest, I kind of thought with some parts, I thought that this was actually going to be more for comedic value, and then they just kind of smack you over the head with some family drama, and it's like, okay, well, really didn't feel like you were building up to something that severe, but let's go with it. So let's just move into the positives, shall we? Let's start showering this movie with all the praise it deserves, because again, I was very impressed by this movie. Oh, one more thing that I forgot to bring up. If you're looking for something that's going to turn this genre on its ear, the whole I found a monster, now we're best friends and the government's coming for it, no, it does not reinvent the wheel. The story to this is pretty similar to other movies that you've seen in this genre, but what this film does bring to the table that you don't always get with movies like that is a really great emotional core and some fantastic acting. So now let's move into those positives, shall we? The first thing I want to talk about, let's just talk about the acting. And first off, I just want to mention Lulu Wilson right out the gate, because she literally carries this movie. She does an outstanding job on screen, and her screen presence is really good. I enjoyed her in this role, and if you're familiar with her, you might know her from the horror action film series Becky. There's Becky, and then Wrath of Becky, I believe is how it goes. She plays the main character in those, and she did an outstanding job in those films, and this one, she goes on and does an even better job. Now the drama that's in this movie, she does handle it excellent, and she does a great job with it. Her character does have some very heavy lifting in this film, and a lot of emotions and all, and her character, or her acting, really nails this character. The character in this film, both our alien and the alien, or the person who finds the alien, played by Lulu Wilson, are both really outstanding. The chemistry between them, even though one of them is just a puppet, is a lot of fun. Now let's talk about that puppet a little bit, shall we? Now, I thought that the alien looks outstanding. I like the fact that they went with a much more horrific and scary monster. I think that it helps with the whole don't judge things by its look aspect of this film, and the monster itself looks great, because when it does some of these close-ups and all, and you get to see the actual textures of the skin and everything, it looks really outstanding. They do a lot of like shadowing of the monster too. You don't get a lot of really dead-on solid looks of it, and I think that actually helps with this creature design a lot, so that when you do get to see the up-close and personal shots, they look just outstanding. So the design, the look, and the entire presentation of this monster looks outstanding. I am so happy that they decided to go with a very solid, excellent-looking practical effect by using a puppet or man in costume, whatever you want to call it, in order to do the alien, and it looks outstanding. The blend of doing something that's very horrifying, but at the same time making it very endearing and something that you can look at and say, oh, okay, I could see where someone would be friends with this creature. It does walk a very thin line, and this design does an excellent job of being horrific and endearing when it needs to. The creature does a lot of communicating with its eyes to let you know that this is a soulful, good creature. It's not trying to hurt anybody, but we would really appreciate it if you stop trying to hurt him so then he doesn't have to do anything. The sound design is also really cool. They do some really excellent sound effects with this creature. One of the creature designs is that it communicates through what I seem like sounds and vibrations. There's all these different scales on the back of the creature that shake and make noises and all when it's going through different emotions. So I thought it was such a neat little addition that they threw into this creature that just made it seem that much more realistic and something that you can actually touch and feel on screen. Now, this is not necessarily a story that we've seen before. This is something very familiar, but it's also a familiar type of movie that we just haven't seen in a while. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a family fun action film. Now, I do think that if you have some young horror fans, they are really going to like this movie, and it definitely does a great job of being an excellent PG-13 introduction into a more thriller-ish monster movie, but going with the, girl and her monster type of thing makes it a lot more palatable, I think, for the younger kids, making the monster more enduring and not something that's actually trying to scare people. There are some outright horrific scenes in this movie. This film really does push the limits and its boundaries of PG-13. There is some gore, there is some blood. So if that's something that you need to be aware of, if you want to watch let the kiddos watch this one. I personally think that this is rated perfectly. I don't think that I would necessarily want a little kid to see this movie. Even though the creature isn't scary, there are scary moments in this movie that could really freak out a little kid a little bit. But other than that, I would say if you've got some older ones at home, you've got some kids that are interested in horror movies, that want to see some more monster movies and all, I think this is an excellent introduction into those films. So there you go, guys. If this weekend, if you have no idea what to go see at the movie theater, because let me tell you, there's a lot of options out there this weekend, my personal opinion is go spend your cash on this movie. Or watch it when it comes to streaming. Because I swear, I think I had one of those magical moments when you're sitting there in the theater with one other guy and you suddenly realize, you know what? I think I am watching another big cult film. And that's what I hope this movie does. I hope it accomplishes big time cult status because it really deserves it. I thought this was an extremely well made film. Great cinematography, everything all around. This movie does deliver. Just a few little problems that need to be ironed out, and other than that, this is a solid watch it in theaters. If you don't get the chance to watch this in theaters, definitely check it out when it comes to streaming services near you. Well, that's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna. Oh, well, hi. I see you haven't left yet. You're sticking around. Well, that was a pretty good idea. Just like this video, stick around for the end credits of this movie because there is an after credit scene. Well, there you have it, guys. Thanks again. See you later.